no idea.
notice you do notice that the dragon is not moving as quickly as you. But there are about 15 of the, 100 and some that are oh, sorry, that are screening you guys. Kind of almost like a small little swarm, not necessarily coming after you, but trying to keep doing its best to keep you away from it currently.
Mm-hmm.
So they're stalking us.
Well,
Less
no, it's not
scouting,
stalking
more, or yeah, less
It's-
stalking, more just making sure you don't come too close.
They're line backing, effectively.
Yeah, basically.
Interesting. So I mentioned that, it appears as though the dragon does not want us messing with its obelisk. And you know what that means.
Let's mess with it.
Precisely. Thank you. Again.
And
So how do you plan to get past all the wyverns?
Good question.
Because we've
magic.
almost lost a ship to a few wyverns before, let alone 100.
How big was the ship?
Our last ship, not a skiff.
Did it have me on it?
You're not on a skiff. You're on a full-size ship.
Oh, we're on the ship
It's
now. Okay.
about, I'd say it's about twice the size of the old one, of the
Tempest Wolf.
yeah. But I will say these two ships. There's this one, and Sid is flying another one, which is even slightly bigger still. Both of them are really outfitted for speed, not combat. That being said, they do have weapons.
The question still remains, was I on that ship?
I don't
Yes.
think you were ever on that ship,
So
actually.
I'm asking Saver.
Well, what's your plan? Go ahead.
Well, you see, in my days I have come up with a number of battle strategies for naval combat, and I'm sure this can be applied to aerial combat as well. There's simply a lot more depth to the equation. But, we won't be dealing with human crews. The animal minds, the wyverns, are quite a bit more chaotic, which means they may be even more susceptible to things like illusions, which means I might not have to try as hard, which means I could use sort of my more simple tactics. All in all, I think I've come up with a sound strategy in order to beat the wyverns. Hit them until they die.
Right. So they send 25 of their wyverns after your illusion, and then still have 125 to come after us.
15, and yes.
Kara, can this ship outrun those wyverns?
Currently, yes.
Can we make it not?
Crewman, how many cannonballs do we still have left?
Currently, we have something on the order of about 100 cannonballs, and we have 4 cannons, so...
We would only get faster as we fired.
We could use this ship as bait, lure as many wyverns away from the big one as possible, and try to drop something heavy upon it.
Frankly, as few wyverns over a long period of time. But yes.
Well, if they continue on this course, they'll reach Vilwin like we will. What
Can
that
the
means, I
Navy
don't
that-
know.
Can the Navy there take this many people? Or this many wyverns?
We have 2 more ships there. It's something. We could do some damage, but if we really wanted to make it a proper fight, we'd need to get a hold of Dragon's Mouth immediately and have them send ships through.
Can we do that?
Yes,
That would take time.
I can
I
do it
heard a
right
yes.
All right, well, this is my plan. We'll take this ship, pretty much fire upon the groups of wyverns and try to stay just ahead of them and hopefully draw enough out so that Sid can follow suit behind and try to wreak havoc upon the dragon.
now. Bleed in buy time.
At the very least. And if anything goes to shit, we can just leave. I mean, if these ships are faster than the wyverns, then we can, at the very least, stay ahead of them and try to slow them down.
That's a better plan than your last plan.
How long would it take if we were to
get a
theoretically
bit
send
faced.
a message to Dragon's Mouth right now?
Well, I don't have a way of doing that. We would have to actually get to the plane of air.
If we could do it with a sending spell, how
Does
long would it
sending
take?
spell cross planes?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Has a 5% chance to fail, but yes.
Okay. Well, the way it looks, it's going to be a few hours before we even get to to Vilwyn. So there's a possibility. They could send ships through relatively quickly. It would take them about an hour, I would assume.
I used to have a few.
Yes. At the current pace, it will take us about 2-3 hours to get there.
And you said only 15 of the wyverns are with Shorgus right now?
No, 100 and some are with Chorgus.
15 are
15 are
playing
screening.
linebacker, the rest
Okay.
are following up.
Yeah, the rest are 15 are screening you. Like so let's do a little bit of drawing because I have that ability.
Well, you're doing that either
You
way.
just don't have the skill. And that's okay.
So if
Just
the
kinda-
dragon is here, there's a bunch of sort of wyverns in a circle. You guys are kind of out here. And there's a few wyvern kind of just out of cannon range currently.
Okay.
And just keeping an eye on you, making sure you don't come after them. So yeah. Some of you guys have dealt with wyverns before on the trip up to the original place of Dragon's Mouth. I believe that's Nyx and Ta. If you guys want to make straight intelligence checks, you can. Okay.
All of us?
Just those that were on the original trip up to Dragon's Mouth and dealt with wyverns before.
Oh, back
Did
when
I
it was
hear
still in the material
I
plane.
don't think you were.
Got it.
Yeah, back when Dragon's Mouth was actually part of the
Yeah,
material plane.
Before you guys fucked up the entire world.
Also, when it was in the airplane too.
Yeah.
Because they ripped the shit out of the ship.
Well, yeah. What you would know is these wyverns are acting in a more coordinated way than the ones you met, I guess you could say, up here in the shards. The large sort of jutting mountain peaks that stick out of the water, and sort of provided the barrier between the mainland and where Dragon's Mouth used to be. Yep. So these ones seem to be either more intelligent or controlled, or who the hell knows. But they are definitely less aggressive currently, or more tactically sound at the moment.
All right, so does anybody else have any sort of plans? Anybody else
Well,
got any ideas?
I am
I
not very.
smack Gad on the shoulder.
I'm not very
This boy is
confident
going to.
in fighting off all of those wyverns, but
No, our goal is not to defeat every single wyvern here. That is impossible at the moment. So we
But
could
we-
use the two ships. We could use one to essentially lure as many wyverns ahead as possible, and use Sid's ship to follow all of us behind the dragon and hopefully lay down some fire upon it. What can we do during that time?
Sleep.
I have
can
a
put
question.
a couple of us in the air, but
Mhm.
I don't know what good that's gonna do.
How far away is the big dragon right now?
Probably about 1,000 to 2,000 feet back,
Hmm.
and slowly getting, the gap is widening as you guys are talking.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, I was gonna say
it's moving relatively slowly, compared to you.
yeah, I was gonna say if anyone can put me on the dragon, I can make him drop the obelisk
Yeah,
because it would make him drop the obelisk.
I can get you on the dragon. That's fine.
I'd like to do an insight check on Dice. He's
I
acting
mean,
especially
Weird.
bold.
all right. I guess roll an insight check then.
This is specifically to like try to see if I can figure out or get any insight on what happened when we brought him
So-
back somehow.
Basically the thing is, Dice A doesn't want to give the dragon a win. B doesn't want to waste the resources from you spending your whole thing with the angelic contractor. And C just got put back to life for basically free.
Is a bit reckless at
Yes.
the moment.
Nyx pulls out her little marble statue of an elephant and says, "I could throw this at him. That's about all I could do."
That would be amazing.
What is
It's like
that?
it's like the improbability drive.
Yeah, that was my
Just a
thought.
whale and a bowl of petunias.
Oh
See
no,
how this
not
is a
again.
little elephant statue? It turns into a real one if I wanted to.
Oh. What would happen to that dragon if we suddenly put an elephant on it?
What happened to a dragon if we made him eat it?
Well, I will point out that the obelisk is about 70 feet tall. Well, actually, now dug up, it's closer to 80.
Oops.
It is about 20 foot on a side at the base, and appears to be made of solid stone. An elephant does not come anywhere near that weight.
Also, would it shatter if it hit the ground at this height?
Currently it's sitting about 2,000 feet up. You're
Hmm.
not. I don't know that you would be sure, but it's a possibility.
Because I'm just saying, if you can get me on the dragon, I can for sure get him to stop for a round.
Okay, well, that sounds great. Kara, I think we should start getting into position here. Is Sid okay with this? Will he do that?
She pulls out something you recognize, a small stone, and begins speaking into it. A few seconds later, it seems you see her almost looking up pensively and like she's listening to something, and you get a response. Sid, Sid said, okay, he's okay to try,
Wait,
but this seems, well,
before we
he
do
doesn't
anything,
think we're probably not gonna be as successful. So if you have a way to get a hold of Dragon's Mouth, having backup would be really helpful.
tell
by the
me
time
what
we
to
get
say.
going.
Fucking dragon. Oh god, come help.
That
Um,
should work.
If Lady Saria is still in Dragon's Mouth, I can get a message directly to her.
she is. Although Terrari is currently heading up the military, it might be the better choice.
Have I seen Terrari?
Have you seen Terrari?
Know your shit.
I don't know if you've met him.
Wait,
Have
no,
you
yeah,
talked
that
to
was
s-
Carillion. I don't know.
Yeah.
Gad has never seen any of the council. So
Okay.
that would be a no. I can't get a message to Sir
Okay.
Terrari.
I have no idea who you're talking about. So,
He's a real big dragonborn.
well, yeah, but like in
Yeah.
character.
Yeah. So in that case, what would you like to do? Let's play this
Who's
out.
in fighting shape right now? Because if shit goes sour and wyverns decide to go to Sid's ship, I'm sure they're gonna encounter at least some sort of resistance when they try to pull back.
I've spent 1 second level spell slot.
I've spent a good deal of my more powerful spells.
Same.
I'm good to go.
Anybody that's in fighting shape, I think, should take a skiff and go to Sid's ship and help with the defense once it is needed, because I'm sure it will be.
I mean, a skiff would be the fastest thing we have available, right? Couldn't we just drop you guys off in one of those?
That's what I said.
No, I mean like drop you over the dragon in one of those.
Oh, well, I mean, there are wyverns to go through to get there.
Yeah,
I'd just go up high enough.
that's kind of what I was thinking, actually.
Oh my god.
I mean, if you're crazy enough, why not?
I
Can we
could
take-
potentially halo him down there.
Hold on, hold on.
Oh yeah, you do. You have that thing that lets you glide.
Yeah.
Nix will
No.
look at Kara really quick and be like, "Is it okay if we destroy one of your skiffs?"
Well, no, somebody would have to pilot it back. We'd take 3 up
Well-
there, and then 2 of us would jump out.
Yeah, basically, I imagine I would basically jump out and Tao would basically be like holding, like trying to keep me away from any wyverns. We do the thing, which, by the way, the dragon will start dancing in the air, which would be hilarious to watch from the ships. But also, he would probably drop the obelisk. Then I could just triple dimension door us back to the ship.
And then we all die.
Yes.
Or he just picks it up again if it just lands on the ground. And
I'm gonna
Hopefully
send
it
a
shatters.
message to Lady Saria saying we are attempting to bleed a dragon transporting obelisk. Request ships to help.
Wait.
South. Say south.
South.
Jesus.
what if? Hang on, wait. What if we waited
South
until
Villan.
it was past Villan? Like if he flies over the ocean, he's not going to get it back from under there. Whereas
know
if
if
it
he's
falls in a
going past
forest,
Villan.
well, I don't know. I mean, if he does,
If he does.
he's either going to drop it in Villan or he's going to go north. And if he goes over the ocean, that'd be a better place to drop it.
Mm.
Granted,
Either
it
way,
wouldn't shatter.
Well, we
some
have
sort
no
of
guarantee
defensive-
where they're gonna bring it, and I mean, the sooner we tackle this problem, the better.
Hmm.
Okay. So dealing with this really quickly. Number 1, Gad. As you attempt to send your sending, you sent. What was the message you sent?
We are attempting to bleed Chorgus transporting obelisk. Request aid in ships south of
Okay.
Villan.
In this case, I'm not even going to make you roll for the 5% chance. What I need you to do is roll me. I believe your spellcasting ability is wisdom.
Yes.
So I need you to roll a straight wisdom check.
Oh god, that doesn't.
Okay. As you reach out, formulating the spell, putting the words in the right place, envisioning Soria and sort of send it out, you feel the spell sort of go over towards follow the path to Vilwyn, through where the portal should be, sort of the thinner rift between the two planes, and nothing.
That's strange.
What's strange?
This
Any performance anxiety?
no, the spell happened, but nothing. It didn't work.
That's it. We're ramming a skiff into the dragon.
fucking hate you guys so much.
Yeah, that I don't think that would work very well.
I think it would work very well.
No, we need all the
So are
resources
you going
we
to
can
pilot
keep.
it into the dragon?
The
Or are
only
you going
two
to just
people that
jump
are
out?
qualified pilots to do this are Kara, myself, and Ta.
Yep.
To go fight?
To
go
fly.
To fly, to pilot the skiff.
How
Oh.
far away? How far away was the aura when we were in Mistral? By the way, is this beyond what it should be?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because the automatic assumption is that it should be the obelisk that's doing that. But if we're out of its range, then either taking it out of the ground increased its radius,
I
or
will point out the spell worked, it just failed to find its target.
interesting.
Well, Nix is actually going to say that, I mean, if it's in the plane element of air, I mean, there is no way to tell that things are in a fixed position. I mean, there's constant wind.
Sure, you can't tell it to somebody in Dragon's Mouth, and they can get the message across.
No, I must be familiar with the target of the message.
What about someone in Vilwin?
We don't know anybody in Vilwin.
No, I've never
Well, whose
been
problem is that?
to Vilwin before all of this happened.
You guys were in Vilwin.
Vilwin, it's not a good person.
Actually, you guys were in Vilwin.
We were in Vilwin, but that was like super brief.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we would know, like, the barkeep.
You didn't stop at a bar.
Yeah, no, that was, you know, we never went there like normally. It was after
No.
things went to shit.
Oh. So, are we doing the skiff or what?
So there's two ways that ends up, by the way. I jump out with Doug and get him on the dragon, and then everything somehow magically works, and we manage to, what'd you say, to use the doors to get back?
So if we fall out of there, first round that happens, irresistible dance. Second round, fall 500 feet more, dimension door us over. Second round, dimension door us over again. Third round, dimension door us up. At which point I have a few more slots over, up, over.
Why not just dive the
Okay.
skiff into the dragon and dimension door out right before you hit?
Because the skiff, well, I don't know if the skiff will make him lose his grip. I know that irresistible dance will almost certainly do that.
Okay. Fair enough.
Also, the what I was getting at, the second way that this goes down is we jump out, we still somehow make it through all the wyverns, we land on the dragon, and either one or both of us dies, and then I'm gonna end up on the ground because I can't fly up, only glide. So I would be down in the forest somewhere, but probably alive if the wyverns don't kill me or the dragon.
Yeah.
So those
I
are
like
kind of
my
our
idea
two
better.
successful
Just
options.
saying. This one sounds a little risky.
You see Kara has been driving this whole time, but sort of listening in, and she looks back and says, the other option is simple. We don't have that many pilots on board. Most of them are sailors. But if one of you wants to take one of the skiffs, we've got one here and one on Sid's ship, and warn Vilwin, that might be another way to get some extra firepower. I don't like this at all. Normally, if you would be headed, as the crow flies up north, the only place in the path is River's Mouth, and there's nothing happening there.
Oh, in that case, there's almost certainly something happening there. Something about to happen there.
Praven
Well,
was taken over by
Vilwin is
Drow,
directly.
too.
Yes, it was taken over. Well,
Yeah.
sort of. Last you heard, there was a drow attack in Praven.
Yeah.
And then nothing from Praven.
Yeah.
So
That being
either
said-
one of those two is my guess.
Well, I had a terrible thought, and I'm not very magically inclined, but the giant pulsing obelisk outside looks vaguely magical to me.
Only slightly.
Very
Well,
magical.
As far as I can tell, you've managed to do some damage to the whatever these things' plan is. And our ships are keeping Vilwyn as safe as it can. But there's only one tether between that actually can open up the plane, the portal. And that's the Chromera.
Which means two things. If we bring if the obelisk does get to Vilwyn, the portal to Dragon's Mouth is closed until we can sort that out. Also, if we took a skiff over there, the skiff is not going to stay up very long.
Well, we'd be above it, unless you're talking about in the villain. But if we took a skiff over the dragon, we'd be way above it. But we could warn villain first, which could provide some of. I think they have like airships patrolling there.
Warning Vilwyn seems like the best idea to me, especially considering, again, if the obelisk gets anywhere near the portal, that will be all of the reinforcements it will have until we can get the obelisk destroyed.
Or if it really futs with the portal until we get the portal back up, and I have no idea if we can do that or not.
I'm already climbing into a skiff, starting it up.
Okay.
Is it like just sitting on the deck, or where is it?
This ship appears to be actually what was originally a sailing ship, a caravel, a large cargo ship. So it has sort of like this large cargo hatch in the center that you might have seen, in old 17th century ships or whatever. It's sitting in the center of that.
I'm just gonna shout, "We need one of these!" when I go down.
All right. Okay, so what would you guys like to do?
I will
Well, we should probably know where we're going, by the way. Like, who do we need to talk to over there? Like, just go to a ship, or what?
Well, you're known among many of the Dragon's Mouth Marines. There are two ships in station above Vilwyn. Just find your way to one of them. They'll recognize the skiff at least.
Okay.
And then she hands you she actually writes some stuff down on a piece of paper. Quickly seals it with a Dragon's Mouth Marine seal and hands it to you and says, This should at least get you able to talk to whoever, and so they know you're legitimate. Time is of the essence, and this is the quickest way I can think of to at least get a message across.
Okay, that works. Actually, just out of character, this works really well because I have to go to supper in about 10 minutes. So this will be just fucking rush up. Good fucking luck. Just gone. Unless anybody wants to come with me. I would actually ask, does anybody want to come with me? And then, I'm like raising it.
Considering I have to go in about 20 minutes, Dice will come with you as well.
All right, perfect. Then we die in Vilwyn.
All right. Well, today, so one out of game question, Saber. Would it be easier to, actually, Saber and Thunder, is it always, for Thunder, are you always going to have to go at 8 my time? So
basically,
like
yes.
Okay. So I think if we aim for like an hour earlier, would that work for you guys in future?
Yes.
Saturday is the most open day for me, so
Okay.
that works best.
Okay, so I could potentially do that, but yeah.
For me, it works as long as I'm not working. I have a lot of Saturdays off coming up. Otherwise, I'll be like 45 minutes late.
That's fine. Okay.
Yeah, and barely talks. She's an odd one.
And gets stabbed.
Or otherwise.
No, she gets her arms ripped off. Let's
Don't
be
remind
honest.
me.
No, I was thinking of when she was turned evil and then Tom murdered her. Well, almost.
Yeah, there's that too.
Point is, she doesn't talk, she shows up late, and she often gets mutilated.
I mean, as D&D should be. All right. So the plan is
Taz
going up to Vilwin.
Ta
With
and
dice.
dice. Ta with his honorable demeanor, and dice with his silver tongue.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
The rest of you, what do you want to do?
I'm staying on the ship. I have had too many.
Oh yeah, that etherealness spell was actually pretty funny.
I'm staying with Nyx because I always feel like that's a good option.
I think
Okay.
Nyx went to sleep, didn't she?
No.
Oh, I thought you said you were going to go rest. I guess that was just before the talk.
Well, it'll be a good number of hours before we reach Velvet, so.
Like 2 or 3.
Yep.
So it
About
depends
3
what you-
hours.
Yeah, it depends on what you call
In
it.
fact, at this point, for those of you looking, you can see the town of Littlegate, or at least what is left of it, still up ahead. You guys haven't quite reached there yet, but just a little ways up ahead. The dragon has fallen back to probably about 2,000 or 3,000 feet behind you. I'll say, because this has taken 10, 15 minutes to sort of talk through everything, get in the skiff, maybe 20 minutes even. But yeah, so you can see Littlegate up ahead. And so whatever you guys want to do.
How quick will the skiff get to Villain?
Pretty quick.
Like an hour or less?
Hour and maybe some change depending on, whatever.
Cool.
All right, so Dice and Ta are taking off. Nyx, what are you doing? Are you staying on the ship?
Yeah.
And Lucian?
Is still AFK.
Okay. I'll assume he's
Push
staying
him
on the ship.
overboard.
Okay, I mean, whatever.
We throw him at the dragon.
I was just about to say, we chuck him at the dragon.
Here's our sacrifice. Please drop Dob.
We load him in a cannon and send him on his way.
A la Sea of Thieves.
Yep.
Okay, so Ta and Dice, I assume you take off and beeline it straight for Evelyn. Go ahead, Ta, you have vehicle proficiency. Go ahead and roll me a it'll be proficiency bonus plus dexterity.
Okay.
And then tell me the number.
Oh, tell you the number, not click the thing that just
No,
does
go
it.
ahead and click it, but tell me the
okay.
number. I'm not looking
20.
at the screen.
Wow.
Oh, okay, 20.
20
Not
total.
natural, but just 20.
Okay. So you guys haul off, headed north.
I do a barrel roll as we go.
All right. A little bit of flair.
Yep.
Kara approves.
Dice is tumbling around inside.
Dice is quite literally tumbling, like acrobatic.
Yep. Dice is doing that scene from 2001: A Space Odyssey and walking on the ceiling all the way around.
Or
Inception.
The Inception, yeah, the hallway, the hotel when they're fighting it.
Yep.
Okay, anyway.
As you guys rip off towards the north, you do see, as that happens, a couple of wyverns do begin to sort of fly off towards you and then regroup. Sort of looking, now that you guys have had it off, you do see a couple wyverns sort of at first start to chase after you and then sort of regroup, continuing that little screen.
I think Dice looks off the back of the ship, begins to play Ride of the Valkyries, and then they turn off and he gets disappointed.
Fair enough.
Just double birds out the back.
Yeah.
Yummy.
Meanwhile, I'm going to give let's see, those people still on the ship, trained, that are proficient in perception, can make perception rolls. And tell me the number.
7. Wow.
Zuzia, please.
I was looking for it. It always takes me a minute.
Oh no!
Wow, natural 1.
You have failed us.
It is a
You
10,
let us
but it's a
down
natural 1.
once. This is ridiculous.
You had one job.
Okay, roll 20.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Off day, I guess. I'm sorry, man.
It's our first Saturday game in a really, really long time. It's fine.
Right. Oh yeah, it used to be on Saturday, and that's why I didn't play with you to begin with.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And now it's on a Saturday, and it's actually working out a little bit better for everybody. They will be shorter sessions, but that's okay. All right. So as that happens, you do all see, except for Zuzia, who is busy examining her fingernails, her long, snaky fingernails. Yep.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Lucian got a 7.
All right. You do see that most of the wyvern screen around the dragon itself has pushed up, is more like a wave in front of the dragon now, as opposed to circular all the way around. But you guys have about 3,000 to 4,000 feet between you and the dragon now as you guys continue on. For the purposes of this, is there anything you would like to do at the moment?
Sleep.
How far
Sleep.
away are we from Villain now?
You're still about probably 2.5 hours out. The skiff has rocketed ahead. In fact, it's even getting hard to see. That thing is quick.
Oh, so all right. Since we're approaching Little Gate at this point,
Yep.
does that mean like we're pretty much above the druid, that little druid guy?
He's actually just north of Little Gate, so you guys have a little ways before you approach the druid guy.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, in a general sense, yes, you are approaching the druid guy because he is.
Oh, we did leave the seats
Just
with him,
off
didn't
over
we?
there.
Yeah, I was just gonna see if his house was a mess and there was a giant fucking Grey Beach just tearing shit up, going, "Roar!" you know.
Oh, Grey Beach is very, very dead. Last you checked, he kind of disintegrated. He fell together, fell apart in a bunch of rotted wood.
Oh no,
And,
we tried to save his seed though.
We
Yeah.
tried, but I don't think we did.
That sounds so wrong. We tried to save what was left of his little like soul.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta go.
All right.
Bye.
So,
Aim
At
the
this
cannons
point-
at the skiff.
No.
I'm still here, god damn it.
Yep.
You fucked that one up.
No,
So
you're not.
as you guys are taking off, the wyverns here maintain about a 1,500-foot gap, roughly in the center, between you and the dragon. You can see the dragon's wings are beating like really heavily. It is not in a I wouldn't say it's struggling, but it's definitely like working harder to carry this huge mass. The wyvern screen is doing its thing for the most part. Let's see. Dice. We're gonna fast forward a little bit since it seems like you guys kind of are. This is the plan. If there's anything you guys want to do between now and then, tell me. Right, but Dice, you will say about an hour goes by, you pass over Little Gate, and you're kind of out here-ish, and you can see up ahead Vilwyn, the sort of port city here at the river delta. Make me a perception check. I'm not gonna have Ta do it. All right.
Fucking 12.
No.
Okay. Oh, because it's
just
them. Okay,
dice.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
it's-
make Ta do it. You can see enough. It's not. You don't get a huge amount. Sort of staring out the window as you guys are blazing along. It's very difficult to really make out a lot. But you do remember when you left, there has been a siege on the city of Vilwyn this entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of right across the river. you can see what looks like what sort of dark masses there were before. There are and siege engines and things like that. You would see the odd trebuchet going off or
How many
whatever.
more of them?
No more. But you do see that there are no more trebuchet shots. There are. It seems like the siege itself has quieted down. There still seems to be the, by your estimate, original estimate, 1,000 or so, enemies there. But it seems like what's happening, you can actually see small, how would I put this? They almost look like tents from above, but they're not. They're not peaked or anything. Right along the shore, what appear to be potentially rafts or something along those lines along the shore that were not there initially.
All right. Something to blow up later?
Potentially, yeah. And you can see the large crystalline tower of the Chromera. What I guess in your travels, being a port city, you've probably been to Vilwyn before. What used to sort of glow with this multicolored light, slowly sparkling and dancing through it, has lost some of its luster. It is less brightly colored. It almost looks the difference between an unpolished and a polished diamond. It looks very. It doesn't refract the light in the same way.
I'm gonna have his land basically near the portal, I guess.
Okay, well, the portal is actually created by the Chromera. It is closed currently.
Well, we're the operating station.
Right, so that would be the Chromera. You do also see two Dragon's Mouth warships, very different to the ships that you guys were flying in. The ones you guys were flying in are sort of naval ships that have been converted, as opposed to these warships, which are these masses of iron and steel sort of floating in the sky, almost like a dirigible, but all metal and heavily armed and armored.
Just because I gotta go in 5 minutes and this is going to take a while otherwise, I am going to basically have Kata pull us up alongside a ship.
Yep.
There's a dimension door into the captain's quarters of one of them. And I'm going to scream at the captain, "Get your boots on, we got shit to do."
Okay. You appear in a which ship do you go for? The one on that's closest to you, or the one that's a little bit further away?
Closest to us.
Okay, you appear inside of the captain's quarters. Sort of a large-ish room for one of these ships, 20 by 20. To see a dragonborn male trying to put on some his uniform, you scare the living bejesus out of him, and proceed to say that. Do you offer him the letter, or did you take that with you? Because it was given to Ta.
Oh, hold on, I have a letter right. Ah, shit. Be right back. And I dimension door back onto the ship.
Okay.
About 10 seconds later of me convincing Ta to give me the letter, I amp back onto the ship, give him the letter, and say, "As mentioned, you have shit to do. Quite important shit, and we should probably get to your masters, wherever they are."
He at this point, when you reappear, he does have his sword out, but showing him the letter, he recognizes the seal, and with his pants like half on, it sort of grabs the letter, opens it, reads it, says, "All right, get down to the Chromera. Tell them we need the portal opened now."
Understood. Dimension door back onto the ship. And I dimension door with my arm in the air in a declarative stance to the Chromera.
Okay. So the two of you begin flying down, or sort of skimming down to the Chromera, which is mostly just underneath you at this point. The ships are set up around the Chromera.
If that is all right with you, that is going to be
Yep.
me for this session.
Yep, and that's probably going to be pretty close to the session this
All right.
week, just because of how things are, and I need to set up for.
Man, time. How'd it work?
Indeed.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back on the ship, the other ship, you guys have cleared Littlegate. Looking around, I will say you don't see any sign of Grey Beach, other than maybe a little dark spot on the soil, but nothing too much. I'll give you the benefit of a decent perception roll. The house of the little druid guy seems to still be intact, as far as you can tell. And the dragon is now fallen behind the better part of a mile. But you guys are hauling ass, and it is slowly, getting up in that general direction. If there is anything you guys wish to do to prepare for whatever the fuck is going to happen, you may do so. I will say, after a couple of minutes, you manage to get down to the Chromera. You talk to the relevant individuals, just to sort of speed this up a little bit even more, and they begin the process of opening up the portal. And I think that's about where we'll pick up with the portal opening.
Cool.
And
Gotta go.
everything.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Yep.
Bye.
And we'll pick up next week an hour earlier, if that works for you guys.
I will have to remember
I'll
that.
be late.
That's all right. I'm just trying to maximize the time
Yeah,
for as
for
many
sure.
people as I can.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
They're
I
definitely.
just know I'm gonna be fucking exhausted, but that's all right, because it's always, the first night back kicks your ass, and then
Yeah.
every night after that kicks your ass too. But this feels like the best of the situation. I mean, unless I could do it during the week, that
be
would
okay
be the
with
only
that.
thing better. Yeah, but Ta and
Yeah.
everybody else, because Kai has a game on Wednesday, I think,
Yes.
and then Thunder has a game on Thursday, and then everybody else is working, and God knows what else. So it's one of those things where
Yep.
this seems like the best time, at least until once I get another person on Frozen with me, I can sort of renegotiate my schedule a little bit. But until then, just kind of fucked.
Whew, okay. That is that. Okay, yeah, I don't think I do anything on our way there, except offer like a quick prayer up to Morden and thank him again for the assistance, even though we somehow managed to fuck it up.
Would we be able to get a short rest in?
I guess that depends.
Yes.
Brevin said we're
short
out.
rest, yes. For those of you not, I mean, if you're on the ship, you could get a short rest. If you're on the skiff, not so much, as you're actually actively doing something. But yes.
Yeah,
You guys
use
could get a
the
short rest.
arcane recovery.
Okay.
Get 5th level back. Oh yeah, that's right. I used it for counter spell.
For silly reasons.
Yeah, they didn't fucking work.
To spell magic, I think you mean.
That's right.
Mhm.
Same difference.
It's magic-y, wagicky stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Close enough. Good enough for the hose I go out with.
Fair enough.
Okay, well, it's a really short session today, but that's okay. New schedule, yay! For everybody who's watching, especially you, J Mizzle, thank you for following. we will catch you next week, and thanks for tuning in.